Hi there, I'm Nicole King. I'm the broker owner of 41 Realty Group, and this is Ian Ullman with Guaranteed Rate. And we are talking about open houses and showing etiquette today. So one of the most exciting things for a buyer is to actually go see the house. So once they've got that letter in their hand, they are welcome to go look at all the houses.
Yeah.
And open houses are a fantastic way to go see a house and not necessarily have to schedule an appointment. You are what we in the Billings area very lovingly refer to as the coffee fairy. And we appreciate it because you bring coffees to agents at open houses. So you see a lot of open houses, a lot of houses, and a lot of how agents set them up and how people act during them, that kind of stuff. So what do you feel like are the best things that you've seen, and maybe some things that could get changed, tightened up, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, I do see a lot, probably 3 to 6 open houses over every weekend for the last 6 months or so.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of coffees. But agents are always excited. Sometimes it's just a break in kind of a hectic day, and sometimes it's an awkwardly quiet day in the open house, and they're excited to get some company.
Yeah.
So, a thing that I notice a lot just in hearing conversations with the people coming through the open houses, it's very easy to fall in love with decor.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, this office just feels like my vibe. But like shelving and paint are very easy things to change, so don't get hung up on those things. Now, like moving walls, I think some people underestimate what all is entailed if they want to expand a kitchen, for example.
So much, yeah.
So just having an accurate awareness around those items, like, a lot of people say, are the bones good? The rest of it's easy.
Yep.
I see a lot of agents that'll do, treats, snacks, coffee, fresh baked cookies is a common one because of that smell thing.
Yeah.
I'm glad to eat them as I'm visiting with them, so that's I'm always there to help.
Yeah.
So I see a lot of that. A lot of people, I think, it catches us off guard, but it makes total sense once we encounter it, is a lot of times they'll have signage posted about either remove your shoes or wear, they have little like booties, little doctor-looking booties to put over your shoes.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, this is still someone's home until it's not.
Yes, it is. Yep.
So just being respectful of that. And I know you've encountered quite a bit more of those types of things than I have even.
Yeah, there's a strange thing that happens, like a sign goes in the yard and all of a sudden it's like it's public property or something. So I will have sellers that tell me, oh my gosh, somebody was walking around my yard or peering in the windows and things like that. That is absolutely somebody else's house. So, if you haven't scheduled a showing or attending an open house, do not go onto somebody's property. It is their property still. They have the right to defend it, and in Montana, that can be a little iffy with how many guns we have. And also just, it's respectful. You would not want somebody coming on your property, and neither do they.
No.
So, like, during showings and open houses, yeah, you can open cabinets and closets and that kind of stuff. You do want to do that. You want to make sure that the closet is the size that you need it to be. The drawers are, if you want soft clothes, the drawers are already soft clothes, that kind of stuff. But try not to touch their stuff. Like, don't get on the beds and that kind of stuff. We see a lot of people sit on beds and that kind of stuff, so don't do those. Also, children. It gets a little hectic when little ones are running around. If at all possible, if you have small children, don't bring them to showings, don't bring them to open houses. If you have to, though, keep a good eye on them, because we hear lots and lots of stories about children finding pens or markers, and all of a sudden there's things that are written on that aren't supposed to be, or things are broken or missing or whatever. So just, keep a close eye on little kiddos.
Yeah, and I know a lot of times, like with the open houses where they have the snacks available, as a recovering restaurant employee, I'm always reminded of how parents hand the package of crackers to the small child in the high chair to keep them occupied, and then they leave, and it's like an atom bomb of saltine went off.
Yeah, yeah.
And if at all possible, don't have your kids do that to someone else's home, right? Like, and it impacts issues for anybody else coming through the open that day. The agent or the client has to clean this all up now.
Yeah.
So just be intentionally respectful of other people's property, I think is fair.
Yeah.
One other thing that I hadn't really thought of much, because I've only ever bought one house, mine, and I just handle the financing side of things, is how often some furniture items are potentially negotiable.
Yeah.
And so usually the showing or listing agent who's running the open house will know that, and we'll talk about it. I know I saw a big old sectional couch recently, for example, that they said the couch is absolutely negotiable because I don't think they wanted to move it.
Big, yeah.
I mean, that's a common thing, right? Like nobody wants to take the pool table back upstairs.
Yes.
So yeah, you can. It never hurts to ask, I guess would be the way to put it. And there's a little bit more your space than mine, obviously, but I've heard more of those conversations as I've started attending open houses.
Yeah, and we try not to let any of that stuff get onto the documents that you see. So
Right.
there is a lot of the pool table or the couch in the basement that fits absolutely flawlessly between the two bookshelves or whatever it is, or the TV that's mounted that's just exactly the right size for that space. We do see a lot of that transferring. So
yeah, they do separate bills of sale for that, so that it's because it can't be included in the real estate because we can't lend on non-real property.
Yeah, you'll screw up your underwriting, so don't do it.
Exactly.
The other thing about this not being public property is that sellers get to decide what scheduling looks like. So one of the things that once we've gotten through all the excitement of looking through all the houses that are available, then we decide which one to schedule showings on. So that's all going to be determined by what the seller said that they want to do. So if you've got a tenant in there, you have to give 24 hours notice. So we can't just dash from when I'm looking at houses online with somebody out to look at that actual property if there's a 24-hour notice required. They might have kids and pets or work from home or something like that. So we need to give them whatever amount of notice they need. It could be a couple hours, it could be a couple of days. So making sure that all those directions are being followed. And then you get to go look at them. You get to do that tour of houses and hopefully fall in love with one and make an offer.
Definitely.
So in the next video, we're going to talk about those offers and everything that goes into it, all the paperwork, even more paperwork than what we talked about before. So lots of paperwork and lots of consideration to make as far as, hey, are there things transferring with the property and what kind of lending to use and that kind of stuff. So we will see you in the next video where we talk about that.